It's the July 4th edition of the Blackhawk Buzz. I'm still Van. He's still Derek. The more things change, the more they stay the same. However, we're changing again. And what with the rise in the numbers of COVID, we're kind of reverting back to a lot of the practices that we quickly got out of. Now we have to assume them once again.
Yeah, and I think the one thing to just really talk about is we get it, right? There's nothing else to talk about. There's really nothing else to do. Golf is the only activity right now. And, you know, it's just human nature that if you're cooped up inside for 8 weeks, you're bound to maybe get a little bit sloppy. And what I mean by that is we had our guidelines in place. It looked like we were moving in a pretty good direction. And now it seems like the entire country is starting to go backwards. And we understand that, you know, maybe the decisions we're making may not seem right for you, but we have to make sure that the safety for our employees is number one. And then we have to make sure that as our employees understand that the behavior of our members continues to be better than any other club in the country as far as I'm concerned. And I would tell you, I think we're doing a tremendous job. But I do think over the last 10 days, 2 weeks, we kind of forgot about the social distancing. We kind of forgot maybe about how you might feel if I get close to you and where I'm talking from. And as you can see, I'll be honest, I'm not a mask guy. I go into Menards and I'm like, wow, is this really where we're at? And I really struggle with it. But I understand now that as a leader of this organization, I have to start to do everything. So you see me with this on. This might not be the appropriate one. I look like Billy the Kid or something. But when you're down there sweating on the range and you're going back and forth, I got to be on, off, on, off. So with that said, we've had a lot of meetings with our staff. We've asked them how they feel about how things are going. And quite honestly, you know, when you have Kelly who has, you know, fought off cancer, there's a concern there by us. You have Todd, whose mother is very sick, and he has to be very careful around Blackhawk if he wants to see her. We have Mike Higgins and Lindsey Thomas who are trying to plan a wedding that at this point is going to be very different than what, you know, brides dream of having. So it's very, very difficult, and it's an emotional time for people. But we have to make sure that all of the rules that we're looking at, and hopefully everybody, when they see this video, has read the wonderful email that Lindsey put together, because I do think it covers everything. Yeah. And again, I'm going to err on caution probably more than most people, because I think that's how I was born and raised. You got to take care of people, and that's what Blackhawk's all about. This is a really big family. It's gotten better. I think everything that we've done here has brought our members closer together. You mentioned you've met 20 new people this year that you wouldn't otherwise meet, and that's exciting stuff. But at the same time, we have to make sure as we're getting to know people, you know, how they feel about this thing, and it's not something you always want to talk about. So, you know, starting immediately, we're going to require masks if you're inside. And what does that mean? And right now, we're going to change a little something. If you need to go into the golf shop, please remember 2 people only. Keeps our employees safe, keeps you safe. We know that when you're inside, it's much more dangerous than if you're outside. With that being said, it also means that the patio will continue to be open. Our food and beverage service will continue, so will the curbside. But eating indoors for now, we're just going to kind of eliminate that for the time being and see how this thing goes. We're not going to allow people in to stand at the bar. We have put plexiglass up in that to keep our servers. But again, it's just really difficult. It's amazing how fast you might forget. So we want to make sure that as you come to Blackhawk and you're in the parking lot, the door from the main entrance to go past the golf shop, we'll keep that open. We're not going to require you to have a mask for that. We just ask, look, you come in, you move through, you get to the golf course. Don't loiter. If you have to go to the bathroom or you want to go into the golf shop, we have masks on hand there for you to use. Feel free to grab one, put it on, go in. Hopefully you shop a lot while you're in there, and use the bathroom. And again, just not spending a lot of time, you know, from talking. You know, the one cool thing about a golf course is you have a wealth of knowledge. I got bankers, I got lawyers, I got doctors. I can get a lot of information pretty fast. It really just seems like the amount of time that you spend indoors and having this aerosol and things like that happening, it's much more contagious in those forums. So we're going to close the building down for the time being. Face coverings, again, inside, and we'll have them available and on hand. we want to make sure that people understand the range limitations are there for your safety. We're going to take away the trays, so I think we're only going to have 6 spots down there. Please make sure to check in with the golf shop so that there's not 100 people down there. Also make sure that when you're going down there, just ask, because it's so hot right now, and because we only have single occupancy in the carts, we only have 40 carts on hand. I'd love to bring in more, but at 40 bucks a day, if I brought in a bunch of those, we'd go backwards financially. So I'm not asking you to ride down together. We will have the 4-seater that we're going to take people to and from the range as much as we can. It also means that if you're just grabbing a cart to go to the putting green or to go out on the golf course to see what's happening out there, we really need our carts. So just make sure that if you're playing, use them. The other thing that I ask is we're starting to show up pretty early. We need to make sure that we're limiting the amount of time people are together in groups. Okay, that's a big thing. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, come hit some balls. We want you to do that. But don't come for long periods of time right now and go down there and hit balls for an hour. We're trying to avoid that at all costs. So just limit your time of arrival. We are increasing the amount of times that we're going to sanitize the building as much as we can, taking care of the bathrooms. We're actually also right now talking about this company called Needle Point that comes in. It's something that hooks up to our HVAC that cleans the air for us and makes sure that it's killing any viruses that are there. So we'll keep you updated on that as well. Other things, the pickup of your food and drinks, you can still call. We encourage that from the golf course. Give Kelly a little bit of time and her staff to get your drinks outside for you. Same for the food service. Locker rooms are not going to open anytime soon, I'll tell you that. And we're wavering back and forth on bag room right now just because it seems like it's difficult to get everything sanitized, get the carts back out for you, get the clubs and get the clubs out. We don't know. You know, just as a membership, I just ask, we want to stay open. I don't. You're going to hear some rumblings about some other courses in Madison that have had some positive cases, and we don't want that to happen here. So we're going to do our best to make sure that we're informing you, social distancing, washing your hands, wearing your mask, doing the things that the CDC has put in front of us just to keep it safe. I've never seen this much play. The course has never seen this much play. It's awesome. We're excited we can provide a little bit of happiness, a little bit of entertainment, getting together with your friends and playing some golf, but just stay as safe as you can. Make sure that you understand that our staff needs you to respect their safety as well. Sometimes it's difficult, but just let's keep going with what we're doing. Let's tighten up the stuff that got just a little bit sloppy on the guidelines. Let's make sure that we don't have to get into kind of this my staff policing you. I don't want to have to do that. I don't want them out there saying, hey, people spread out. Don't move chairs to tables so that you can get more there. Make sure that if you are dining on the patio, I know this is difficult because I look at the reservations where different families are dining together. It's in the order that you can't do that. I know it's not what you want. If you want, Van's plenty loud, so when he comes up here and sits at one table, his friends can be 2 tables over and they can have
They
a
hear me across the lake.
That's right. You know, Bishop's Bay is like, what's happening? Is your tornado alarms going off? No, it's Van. But just make sure we're doing everything we can to make Blackhawk safe so that we can continue on with, hey, for as bad as it is out there, it's been a great summer.
Absolutely.
My team is worn out. Sunrise, I can't get rain. Sure seems to rain between midnight and 4 a.m., but we can't get it out there. And just, again, thank you for everything you've done up to this point to make Blackhawk what it is. We're very prideful and hopefully providing some safety for you and that you can go around and say, hey, the Blackhawk staff is thinking things through. The board is thinking things through. The committees are thinking things through. And it's all about making sure that you're safe while you're here at Blackhawk. So
2 key words to follow up on what he said. Common sense. If you use common sense, I think everybody will be a lot better off moving forward and moving through the future. All right? For Derek, I'm Van. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another Blackhawk Buzz soon.